If I would have told you before the season started, Aaron Judge would be on pace to hit 60 home runs again, you would have said what?
I would say I could see it happening, but it wasn't likely because, in 2022, we felt that that was a once in a lifetime thing. So I wouldn't bet on it because I just think that these are so unusual. But now I start to think that if he didn't run into the wall at Dodger Stadium last year, maybe he would have made a run at 60 as well. He's just on that kind of roll right now where he's the best hitter in baseball.
I wondered about his swing, or I wonder about his swing. When you first saw him, and it felt like somebody that size and having a long swing, could he continue to have that success when his bat, slowed down? He's 32 and having probably the best year of his career. So how do you handicap that swing of his as he, gets to be 35, 36 years of age?
You know what? He's a really smart player, Dan. And I think that what he's done is he's turned it into a science because he actually cares about batting average. And his strikeouts are actually down from his rookie year when he hit 52 home runs. That year, I even talked to Joe Girardi about it. Nobody could envision this. Nobody could have dreamed this big that he'd be a 330 hitter and be on pace for 63 home runs. But that's what he is. So you would be led to believe that if in fact he's going to get older and the laws of physics take over and he's going to have a slower bat, I think he'll be able to make it work. I think he's got a lot more in the tank. Remember, he got called up late because he went to college. So if he wants to do great things in a compiling sense, he's got to hit till he's 37. And I think he's going to.
Should we look at Aaron Judge as the single season home run champ?
I think that I don't want to cop out, but I think that's everybody's individual preference. If you look at Bonds and you think that it was ill-gotten gains and Sosa and McGuire, then he is. If you think, okay, everybody was doing it and there were pitchers that were doing it, then he's not. The best thing he has going for him is at least he knows he's the American League single season home run record holder. Is he better than Bond? The sad part is, Dan, he had the worst April that you could possibly have. The worst. If he actually had just a decent April, they'd be people talking about him getting 73, and then he would erase all of this nonsense, and there'd be no more asterisks anymore. But the fact that he had a bad April means that he's going to go for 62 again, and probably not going to go for 73.
You think he could hit 73?
I do. Now, as he gets older, I think it becomes less likely. But if he had if he had an April where he had 9 home runs, rather than what he did have. He hit under 200 in April. Yeah. He looked lost where people were saying something's wrong with him. He just didn't have enough at-bats in spring training. If he had a decent April, I think he'd be making a run at 73. I really do, because he is so locked in right now. And it's not just brute force that he does out there. He's really thinking up there, and he's become a much more cerebral hitter. I think he could have done it this year. I don't know. Next year he's a year older. I'm not sure. But this year he could have done it.
And you see right-handed hitters, that they use the entire field. I remember Dale Murphy, kept saying that there were pitches that he could hit out of the park to right center, and he became really good at doing that because he was trying to pull everything. And I see Judge, that's a smart hitter. Even if you don't hit a home run, use the pitch to your advantage, use the ballpark to your advantage. So you can see a thought process when he's up there. A lot of these guys just go up there and swing. But he's thinking when he's in there.
Also, Yankee Stadium is built for him. So just a fly ball to right field. I'm not saying he has a lot of these home runs because most of them go 450 feet. But it's good if you're going to break a record to have one dunk into the short porch and right 2 or 3 times a year, because that gives you a little bit of a run. He's just a brilliant, brilliant hitter. And again, I did not envision a guy who's going to hit over 300 when he hit the 52 home runs as a rookie. He's gotten so much better as a baseball player and so much smarter. And really, Dan, I don't know if you've ever stood next to him. He's a giant. There aren't baseball players that look like that. I'm 6'4", and I feel small next to him. Paul O'Neill is 6'6", and he's looking up at him. It's just an amazing thing that a guy that size could have that kind of athletic ability, and also the computer of a brain to process all the information that's coming his way for him to hit 300. And he's one of the few home run hitters, Dan, that really does care about batting average. He's not Joey Gallo, who's willing to hit 40 and hit 170. He takes a lot of pride in hitting 300, and he's going to hit 300. He might even win the batting title that Bobby Witt Jr. goes into a little bit of a slump.